Okay, so for compound interest, so we start off with compound interest. If you look at the right board, there are equations for the TBM solver, future value, etc. I actually don't have one up for compound interest, but I'll put one up, okay? Especially here with these, because a lot of people forget this, okay? Adam, you're focusing, right?
Yep.
Earphones off?
I'm not listening to you.
Okay, the following words are super important, so memorize them. I'll put them up on a poster board, okay? Annual means once a year, semi-annual, twice a year, quarterly, 4 times a year, monthly, 12 times a year, weekly, 52, and daily, 365. Oh, I put them right on the bottom. Thanks. I just missed them. Okay, so I know that you're like, of course this is what it is, but you get into the question and you read the word and you're like, oh, I forget, which one is that? So just remember that they're up there, okay?
Can you want like bi-weekly and stuff?
Yeah, but just think about that, right? You can just divide the value in half, but I can also add them to the list. That's not a big deal. Okay, so here, okay, so actually I do have it up there. So here it is. Compound interest formula is future value is, so FV stands for future value equals PV, which is present value, bracket 1 plus I to the exponent n. So the equation isn't difficult at all, right? The hardest part, and so this is just going through all of them. The hardest part is remembering that your interest always has to be as a decimal, and it has to be divided by whatever your compounding is, okay? So if it says your interest rate is 12% compounded monthly, you need to go, well, 12% as a decimal is 0.12, and then I need to divide it by 12 because there's 12 months in a year. It would be great if you got 12% every single month, but that's not how it happens, right? So you need to say your interest rates are always given for the entire year, and you need to break it up over your compounding, okay? Same with your N, okay? Your N is the number of compounding periods. So if they say that you have your investment for 5 years, but you're compounding it monthly, that means 5 years. Every year it happens 12 times, okay? So you're going to go 5 times 12. Now this is the hardest part of these questions, okay? Remembering to divide I by your compounding number and multiply N by your compounding number, okay? It says up on the poster on your right-hand side, if you go down, interest rate as the decimal divided by the number of compounding periods. N, years times by the number of compounding periods. Okay, it's all up there. Just remember to use it. Okay, this has everything together. All right, so practice putting it into your calculator. Okay, so first things first, let's identify what is what. So $1,000 invested at 3%. Per year, compounded monthly for 5 years. PV, your present value is $1,000. That is how much you are starting off with.
Yep.
Okay? Your interest rate is 3%. However, 3% as a decimal is 0.03.
Yes.
And it says I'm compounding monthly, which means I have to divide this by 12.
Oh.
Monthly. There are 12 months in a year.
Gotcha.
Okay, so I don't get 3% each time. I get 0.00025. Okay, so that's what my interest rate is.
Did you not do? Oh, it would be different. I put 1 plus 0.03 divided by 12. And it's not the same.
No, you can do that. I'm just breaking it up instead of. Now, N is 5 years, and again, it's 5 times 12 because it's compounded monthly over that 5 years. So my N is 60. No, it's not a question. That's why I said we're going to go through them, and then I said you might want to write it on paper.
1,000.
Okay, so if I'm working with my equation, it's now future value is equal to 1,000, bracket 1 plus 0.00, oh, I dropped a 0. 0.00, ooh, I did it again, 25 to the exponent 60. Okay? Right to it. Okay, let your graphing calculator or scientific calculator do the work. 1,000 bracket 1 plus 0.0025 bracket the exponent 60. And I get future value is equal to $1,161.62. So in 5 years, I've made $161.62 in interest. Okay?
That's awesome.
Okay, next. We're going to do another one. So, more practice together. Again, your investment's $2,000, 12%. PA means per annum, compounded semi-annually for 2 years.
Per annum.
Per annum, per year. Okay? So, PV, in this case, is 2,000. If you write down what PV means, what N means, what I means, if you make a mistake, but you wrote it down, I can give you 50% of the marks because I know that you know which one represents what, okay? If you just go right to the calculator and just output a number to me, I can't give you any part marks, okay? I, in this case, is 0.12 divided by compounded semi-annually. If I go over here, semi-annually is twice a year. Pardon? Oh, twice a year. So my interest is 0.12 divided by 2 because it is twice a year. So I get 0.06% every twice a year. N is 2 years times twice a year, so this is 4. So, future value is equal to present value, 1 plus I to the n. So, it's 2,000, 1 plus 0.06 to the 4. Let your calculator do the work. 2,000, bracket, 1 plus 0.06, bracket, the exponent 4. I made $2,524.95. These are always decimal places of 2 because it's money, right? So it's change. So in this 2 years, at 12% annually, I made $524.95 in interest. Okay?
That actually happened.
Yes, if you magically could find anything that gave you 12%, right? Okay, you have seen these before, so I'm going quicker through them, okay? You've seen these types of questions. So here, we're investing. Our present value is $10,000. Our interest is, again, 12% add the decimal divided by compounded quarterly. Quarterly is 4 times a year. Okay?
So would you still need to do an exponent? No, it's just 1 year.
Yeah, because it's 4 times a year.
Oh,
So N is 1 year, but times 4, so my exponent would actually be 4. Because quarterly. Future value is equal to present value, 1 plus I to the exponent N. So $10,000, 1 plus 0.03 to the exponent 4. Okay. Tomorrow, I just realized you're writing these. Am I going too fast? So I got $11,255.09. Okay. So obviously, the more money you invest, the more interest you're going to make, right? Yeah, for a year. 4 times a year, right? Okay, and the last one. Okay, so my present value is 1 million.
Yeah.
Okay, my interest rate is 10% as a decimal, compounded monthly, so I'm dividing by 12. Okay? Compounded monthly, so I'm dividing by 12. So I got 0.0833 repeats. That's 3 repeats, but just keep 2 of them. And I am doing it monthly. Okay.
For how many months?
So, here's the thing. I actually don't have to do anything here because there's no full years and it's compounded monthly. So all I do is put a 5 here because it's already in months.
Yeah.
Okay, it's already in months. 5 months only. So I don't need to do any more work here because I haven't actually done any years. So future value is equal to present value, 1 plus I to the sort of n. So $1 million, 1 plus 0.0833 to the exponent 5.
It's 1,491,913
Okay?
and 75 cents. Imagine getting that much money.
Well, could you imagine having $1 million pre-tax, right? That's why they say that people can live off the interest when they win like the lottery or whatever, right?
Okay.
Because your interest, could you imagine?
That's
I
why
think
don't get how people go broke after
because they
like,
spend.
Yeah, but like
Five.
how?
Well, first of all, stop.
Yeah.
The likelihood that you would get a 12% investment is very low. Like 12% is very high. They use them in these types of questions, but it's unlikely that you would find something
Yeah,
at
but even
12%.
still, like if you won the lottery, you put like half of it in the bank, and then
But even then, like, you figure banks would, like, you would get something